Hey gang, Kevin here, Life22. And we're doing, I want to be able to jump into the next excerpt. So, Jordan Peterson just released another multi-part series, and I'd like to jump on it. So what I wanted to do was go back through and review the previous one. So the previous one was called Foundations of the West, and it was released at the end of, looks like it, it was released roughly in the middle of August. And it was a really good portrayal of, how the West was founded, its ideology, things like that. But he kind of does it from the perspective of these different locations that he travels to, right? Like, so he goes to Israel, he goes to Jerusalem, he goes to Greece and Athens, and he goes to Rome. He sits down and he speaks with these different people that are very well educated on the subject. There's four different, is it three? It's a 4-part series. Yeah, and there's 4 different individuals that Dr. Jordan B. Peterson sits down with, and he does these, 4 parts, and then they're followed by a subsequent period in which they have dinner and discuss what they had discussed earlier in the day. So it's kind of like, here's the thought, here's the follow-up, and then he does that 4 different times with 4 different experts, and then he lands on episode 5, which is just kind of a summation with everybody in the room, right? So it was very interesting. It was a good listen. I believe it's exclusively available on the Daily Wire, so you're going to have to subscribe, which I don't know why you wouldn't. They've got tons of content, tons of great content. If not just for Jordan Peterson alone, they've got great content, let alone all the movies and everything else they're producing. Those guys they're phenomenal. So, now, obviously, he has a trailer out. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube, or I'm sure it's on Spotify, any of the other places that you would check out and find a trailer. So, episode 1, he sits down and he talks with Ben Shapiro as they explore Jerusalem and the axis of Mundi, right? So, and then they talk about the foundation of that civilization, how that influenced the West, things like that. And then obviously the second part of episode 1, they do dinner on like a rooftop, which it seems to be every one of these dinners is like on the rooftop of a building in the city in which they have come to check out, learn the history of, things like that, and explain it to us. Very, very, very cool stuff. There's just even the scenery is just phenomenal. Episode 2, he goes to Athens. He talks about the Logos, and he meets with Spencer Klavan. That would be Andrew Klavan's son, no relation, if any of you got the reference on that one. And they go through Athens, obviously. Then episode 2's part 1 is them walking through Athens, talking about Athens, and then and how it influenced the West. And now moving on to obviously dinner, and then they do. Let's see here. He walks through. Episode 3, he's with Jonathan Pajot, who's a very good friend of Jordan's. He's a biblical scholar. And he joins Jordan in the Garden of Ethisium, where Jesus spent his last night before being arrested, in the crucifixion. So he must be in, I'm guessing, Israel. So it shows how much I remember. I finished watching the series at the beginning of the month. And then they did like the final summation on the 8th of September. So, and then they do dinner, him and Jordan, and then he meets with Bishop Robert Barron, who leads him through Rome's complex cities and theology, and the journey begins with the Santa. Let's see here. The journey begins. All right. So, anyways, yeah, they go through Rome together, the two of them, and then they have dinner, and then there's a symposium the War of the West, and all 5 hosts get together and have a final episode where they all collab on it, which was also very good. So obviously, I don't review anything that I dislike typically. I got to start doing that more, I guess. I got to find more stuff that I don't like, and then actually having a critical view on it, right? So, but this series in and of itself was very good. I do enjoy it. I enjoy everything that Dr. Peterson does. So I guess maybe that makes. It's hard to say that it makes me biased, but the more that, like, it's hard to find him unless you are kind of blinded by rage or something. There's no reason why you wouldn't say, wow, this guy's like knows his shit. Why would you not love everything that he does? And so I guess everybody who reviews him should be biased in that regard, that, like, they say, hey, you know, he's good. He's Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, right? So, but yeah, just a quick, little synopsis on this 5 episode series. I believe it's 9 parts. It's really good, and I recommend you joining the Daily Wire, subscribing, and getting in there to check out this and all of Jordan's other stuff. I recommended his 3-part series on marriage the other day, 4-part series on marriage the other day, and to a friend, and then I realized that the friend that I referred him to had to subscribe to the Daily Wire because he couldn't get the offering elsewhere. So it is what it is. There's a lot of great content behind the paywall. It sucks that it has to be behind a paywall, but it doesn't suck because that affords them to be able to create such great content, which inspires the rest of us, right, to go on and be better human beings. So if you're not already a follower of Jordan B. Peterson, I highly recommend that you do. Another great series by him, and he just released a new series, and I'm going to delve into that today. I won't be delving into the review today, but I'll be delving into it. I just wanted to keep everything from his previous one fresh in my mind and review it before I moved on to listen to his next one. But also stay tuned, because I am also a early enrollee of the Peterson Academy, so I'll be reviewing a lot of those different classes that I'm taking on the show, on the channel, and we'll go from there. Thanks, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.